Why are some people successful and others not? We know that it has nothing to do with education or age or experience, because if that was the case, then everybody that graduated from a certain program or everybody that lived in a certain neighborhood, everybody with a certain designation would have the same level of success. So what separates people that see results from people that don't see results? It's our paradigm or our operating system or our mindset. That is ultimately what determines our results. So what is a paradigm and how do you change it so that you can experience new results? If you can imagine, when we were little kids, we were just absorbing everything that was going on around us. And so if your parents argued about money, or if you were told that education is important or isn't important, depending on the relationship status and how your parents were in relationship or the people around you, the things you heard from school and from friends, the impactful events in your life, all of that was absorbed by your subconscious mind and started to create your belief system. It's how we know what foods we like, what language we speak. It plays an important role in many areas of our life, but it also dictates and impacts the results that we experience. So your belief system or that paradigm is right now controlling the results that you're experiencing. So if you want to know what your belief system is or what that paradigm is, just look at your results, because your results never lie. So if it's that subconscious belief system or those paradigms that are controlling our results, how do we change that so we can have a new result? Research has shown there's only 2 ways that we change our paradigm. And one of those is through strong emotional impact. And so these are things like an accident, an illness, or a divorce. It's that proverbial wake-up call that challenges us to think in a different way or to do things differently. Sometimes it's a positive emotional impact. It's getting married, it's having a baby, it's having a grandchild. Those very, very strong emotional impacts can change that operating system or that paradigm. Unfortunately, that's oftentimes not enough on its own. There was a very interesting study done where they studied heart disease patients, and these particular patients, their life was on the line. If they did not make some changes to their lifestyle, they were going to die. They took these heart patients and they told them what they needed to do. And one group, within 3 weeks on their own, they were back to the old habits, even with their life on the line. The other group, they told them what they needed to do, and they also gave them support. So they had mentorship, they had coaching, they had accountability, and 90% of those people were successful in making the changes required. If you can imagine, even with their life on the line, it wasn't enough to sustain the results. Chances are for you in your life right now, your life isn't on the line. But what is on the line is your goal, is your dream, is your happiness, is living into your potential. And so the one way that we change that paradigm or that operating system is strong emotional impact. The second way we change that paradigm or that operating system is with repetition and strategic support over time. If you can imagine, when you first learned the alphabet, you didn't hear your ABCs once and you knew it. It was through repetition, hearing it over and over and over again is what installed it, so you can now recite it without thinking about it. Your paradigms, those beliefs, have been installed in you over years and decades. And so if we want to install a new belief, a new operating system, it takes repetition. When we have proper structures of support around us, just like those heart patients, it sets us up for success. So if you want to look at why are some people successful and others not, it has to do with their operating system, that paradigm, that mindset. They have a mindset for success. And chances are they've had some mentorship, they've had some structures of support to help them sustain those results. If you want to produce new results in your life this year, set yourself up for success by having structures of support around you. It's why top athletes, it's why business owners, highly successful executives, why they have coaches, why they have mentors, because we cannot see our own subconscious blocks. And when we have that mentorship, it cuts down the learning curve, and we're able to install within us a mindset for success, which therefore creates the results that we want. I have had the absolute pleasure of mentoring people for over 20 years on business operations and finance and strategic development, but most importantly, on the mindset required to implement those things in a way that creates results. If this is your year, if you are ready to create new levels of success in your life, and you know that coaching and mentorship will help you accomplish that, let's have a conversation. Let's figure out if we're the right fit to work together. So reach out, let's connect, let's have a conversation. Here is to you living a life you love.